Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans, welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this April 14th, 2025? We have episode number 135 coming at you. Hyatt, what is going on, brother?
Today was actually a great day in the state of New Jersey for track and field. It wasn't cold. There was no wind. It was finally a day that I felt like spring track has finally arrived. It's been so damn cold and so windy. It's been miserable.
It's funny because those are the days too. Like you're out there, practice is beautiful, and you're like, man, why isn't today a meet day? Like, why aren't we running a meet today? Like, why isn't there
At
something
all
going on?
cold weather meets, man. I'm excited for some nice weather and some fast times.
I mean, welcome to outdoor though, right? Early is cold, late is blazing hot. You get like one sweet meet, and usually it's like a relay, and it's like, damn it, come on! But overall, we're excited. You know, times are about to start getting faster and faster, so we're always pumped for that. Send us your PRs, darn it. Please. We haven't gotten enough. We are getting frustrated. I'm going to start badgering coaches and people I know now. That is going to start happening. But send us your PRs. We want them. As always, wherever you are watching from, whether it is X, Facebook, or YouTube, we appreciate it all. As always, thank you very much. Please make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, and spread this word of mouth. That is the best way that we spread out there. We get known, and all of our awesome guests get to be, get more shine and things like that. And if you are listening to this later via podcast form, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, make sure you give us 5 stars, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and leave a comment today so our guests can talk to you and we can have a good time. Last week, we had an absolute blast talking to Cole Kramer and head coach Scott Baker, Southern Regional sprinter, Meet a Champions champion in the 55. Obviously, Coach Baker is the head coach over at Southern, and it
Tennessee bound.
A great time talking to him. He was an awesome kid. Tennessee is going to have a fantastic athlete, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he is going to do in outdoors. A really well put together kid. We talked about the quiet confidence, and it's exciting.
There's a chance that he dips under 10. I mean, he ran 10.22 last year. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's fat. I mean, that's a lot to a drop, but I mean, 10.22 is.
He's at that level where. Fast. Like, if he gets to, 10.15, that's a ridiculous accomplishment, right? Because 10.22 is so freaking fast. Now, every 10th is, a stupid number. So, we'll see what he gets to, but we're rooting for him. But this week, we are also rooting for this individual, and we are pumped because it's been a long time of me badgering one of our former guests to have her on. We are pumped to have him back on, and we're pumped to bring on her on. It is Olivia Palutis and Alex Lynch, head coach over at Ocean Township, and Olivia is a senior runner, middle distance jack of all trades over at Ocean. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, guys?
Hi.
We're excited to have you guys on. Like I said, this has been weeks, maybe longer, possibly well over a year in the making of me badgering coach over there. Because, for people inside baseball, Lynch and I basically talk every day. We're, always talking, as just like I talk to Dave mostly every day. So as Lynch got more into his head coaching haunches over there at Ocean, I'm like, cool, you can start giving me your best athletes. And he's just like, no, relax. I'm like,
and I've had the privilege of coaching both of you stellar athletes.
Lynch was good. I was a guy. Anyway, so we are going to jump right into this fun show because Olivia, it's all about you. It is about you. The spotlight is here. Going to ask you the same question. We start off with all of our new coming guests. Lynch had this question before. What was the spark that made you not just when you became a runner, but what was a spark that was like, you know what, this running thing, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do anything else. This is what I want to dedicate to.
Well, I started in middle school actually when I was doing soccer, and I was like, I want to get in shape for soccer. So I started doing cross country, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this. So I did track. And then once I got into high school, I was like, okay, I'm quitting travel soccer, and I'm going to do cross country full time, track full time. And then I think it was that, and just even my freshman year of high school, running with the seniors, being able to and I started having I don't want to say a rivalry, but like being able to compete with some of the seniors, I was like, ooh, I'm kind of good at this. I kind of like this. And I was like, okay, maybe I want to keep doing this.
The infamous getting into shape. That is such a trap. And I really want more coaches of other sports to allow your athletes to, just allow them. Let them just come get in shape. So then they can go and win a few races and be like, oh, winning feels awesome, right? Like it's always fun. And here's the thing, Dave. And this is why I'm a big advocate for dual meets. This is why. Because
we're still on the dual meet thing.
Dual meet thing. It's a travesty.
We're still on this dual meet thing.
I will never not be on the dual meet thing. I hate having an invitational to decide a division. It's stupid. Anyway,
it's not an invitational. It's a divisional meet.
An invitational. Anyway,
it's scored as separate dual meets.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I am a huge fan of that this week because my team won its first ever division.
Yeah, you won,
which is awesome. For you, so here's the thing: for Manasquan only, and if Ocean wins theirs, and if Manchester wins theirs, that's it. Then I hate it for everybody else. But anyway, but no, that's always fun and that's cool. And I was similar in a lot of sense to that because I came in freshman year, and freshman year I was a good freshman. And I ended up really competing and like beating all the seniors. And that's when I was like, I always knew I wanted to run, but it was at that point I was like, I'm the best distance runner in the school already. They said, no, I love my seniors. They were amazing. But no, it does feel good when you have that early success. And that's always helpful. And especially, God, Lynch and Dave, how many soccer players do we wish we can convert to middle distance runners, right? Like that is the mold. Go take the midfielders and just be like, hey, you want to try an 800? Like that's exactly what you do.
That's
formula.
That's like what we've had at Ocean. I've gotten a lot of girls to come over to do 800s. And when you have Liv leading the charge, it helps that they see her do well and they want to do this as well. Like
it only takes one.
Going to be the senior, and now you're the senior making the freshman do it. So it's really fun to see that.
It only takes one to come out and have success, and then others will follow suit.
And then especially when you tell Liv, you're like, you know what? Go convince those soccer girls. Go play pickup. Crap out of them and pick up real quick and be like, see, I was just as good as you. Come run and
you can just outrun them.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I remember you from the soccer team. I'm like, I know. Do you want to get to know me better? Come down to track. Like
there you go.
That's always a good recruit. See, that wouldn't have worked for me. I'd be like, you want to get to know me better? They'd be like, absolutely not. Get away from me.
No.
It wouldn't have worked well for me. It works better when you're a good person like Olivia. So, so I want to walk down memory lane for you, Olivia. And what have been some of your best and favorite memories of track? Run down a few from starting freshman year up until where you are now, because you have had, you've had some bouts, right? You've had some trials, which all runners go through, but it's, how you pick up at the end of it. So talk about some of your favorite memories.
One of my overall favorite memories has to be just nationals. My sophomore year, like being able to qualify for New Balance Nationals and running it on at UPenn, where we had run Penn relays the 2 years prior. It was like a nice familiar track too, which is like, I feel like just helped the experience overall. But just being able to run it, and then I ran my PR there, and it was just like an overall such an amazing experience that I want to have to be able to do it again. And just I haven't been able to come close to that PR last year. And so I did better this winter season than I did last spring season, just because of like a mental issue I was stuck with. But now I feel a lot more confident and better with it. Yeah, that was definitely my favorite memory. And like starting freshman year, definitely just the seniors were really good role models, and I felt really accepted by them, to the point where one of them would drive me to practice every day.
Love
and
that.
It was just so sweet, like being accepted so easily. And it's just such a nice community, honestly, running.
I'll say this. That's probably the first time that I have ever heard someone say that Penn track is familiar outside of like a UPenn runner. Because I've always found that track to be so oblong with the way they like have like the rail in the middle of the track and they only spread it out for like sprints. So
it is better now.
It's so weird. It's such a strange track, but I was like, I've been on this before. It's not like I know what I'm doing, sort of.
That is definitely helpful. So no, those are awesome. I want to get Coach Torchia has some comments right here saying Olivia's mom was a total studette runner, and also saying her mom was on a Meet of Champs winning team. I don't know if Mama Palutis is over there hearing, but she's getting some compliments over there from Coach Torchia, which is awesome.
She's in Virginia right now for work, but I feel she's definitely gonna be cracking up later.
Yeah, she's listening
when
to
we
watches.
tell her, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Coach Torchia, as always.
Yes, always. So those are some awesome memories. So talk about, indoor last year and a little bit of kind of, what went on, because like I said, it's good. I think it's really good for if you're willing to talk about kind of that mental block, right? Because all athletes go through that, especially at high school. And I feel like you're a really good runner. You're a talented runner. You're fast. And I think it's always good for other athletes to hear, hey, that's a stud runner that went through a block that I went through. And now look at where she's coming out on the other side. So if you're willing to talk about it, I think it would be awesome. I'd love to hear just, obviously you're on the upswing, because I've heard sometimes you've been running, you've been doing fantastic. So if you want to talk about it, go for it.
Yeah. So basically, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to figure out when it really started, but I feel like it was more prevalent like my spring of junior year. I had like set really high goals for myself, and I was like, okay, I'm going to hit 212. I'm going to qualify for this elite meet. I'm going to do all these great things. Like, and I knew I was capable of doing it. I knew I was able to reach those times and reach those goals. But part of me was sort of thinking like, oh, I shouldn't be able to be running up with these top people. Like, oh my gosh, Emma Zawadzki's in my race. Like, how am I doing this? Like, it's
the imposter syndrome type of stuff jumping in.
Yeah. It's just like, I felt, and it wasn't even from like outside sources. It was like, everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're doing so amazing. Like, even when I ran like complete crap and I knew I wasn't going well, I was like, I just knew I don't know. It was just difficult. And I just put too much pressure on myself. And when I didn't achieve those goals, I felt like it weighed down on me more. So yeah, last spring I only hit like a 2:18, which is like 3 seconds off my PR, which I know is like still kind of like, oh my gosh.
It's pretty good, because only 2:18, like you're having girls that are like, they would give the whole career to go.
No, exactly.
Right? Like you're, and here's the thing, and I understand, because you're at a benchmark now, like you said, you're in these high caliber races, you're walking into races expecting to be in the seeded heat, right? Like, you know where you can be. So I understand that. So Lynch, I want you to jump in. You're a young coach. You're really just starting out. This is kind of your first real trial this way, right? With one of your top athletes going through something like this. So how did you handle it as a coach, trying to guide her through? Because, man, I know Dave will talk about it. I'll say it. When you're a coach and you're watching this incredibly talented athlete and it's like they're struggling, and it's just like, I just want to pull your brain out real quick, reset it, put it back. Like, how did you handle that?
Like a little factory reset. That's the hardest part, is like you spend so much time with these kids that you remember your times as a runner. And like my whole hardships, right? Like when I was with Griff, I took like 6 or 7 races to try and break a 5-minute mile when I was like a junior. And it was like, I always thought back to those of like those mental woes of like, what was I doing? I had a little bit of like imposter stuff too, of like, I didn't belong there. What was happening? So it was really challenging, because you care for these kids so much that you just want them to perform that they can do. And when you see them go through that mental block, it's really struggling. You're always trying to figure out different ways. Like we were doing so many different strategies with Liv. It was always like, here's like a quick little quote thing. Here's like videos you can watch. Coach Looney and I would tell her to go watch her New Balance time when she ran the 2:15 her sophomore year at outdoor nationals for New Balance. So we were kind of doing all these different things of just trying different strategies. But when it came in my head every single time I would think about her and what mental woe she was going through, it was just a matter of, it's 2 simple things. You have to be in their corner, the first thing. Like you have to be there to let them cry, let them get frustrations out, vent to you. Don't even say anything. Just listen to them when you need to listen. And then the second thing is just always being there and making sure they're sticking to their training, giving them different workouts, changing things up, giving them different strategies, just trying to do different things that made their brain turn off and make them think about different things. And
I like that.
I think Liv did really well the indoor season figuring that out. Like, I really think she started to figure it out again. She was really doing well with every race she got. She really loved Ocean Breeze, so that helped every time I brought her there.
Yeah.
Ocean Breeze is awesome.
She was like, I'm running a 2:14 today, coach. Don't worry about it. It's fine with me. Let's see if you can do it. And
Yeah,
just doing those kind of things, like that's another mental thing you can do, is like bring them to places they know they're confident in. And yeah, it makes it longer days for you, but like I said, you're in it with them. And as being a young coach, I don't have a lot of things tying me down just yet. So I'm willing to do a lot of these things until I start not having these opportunities anymore.
That's true.
Listen, I've also learned too that, you know, kind of like what you said as a coach, sometimes saying less is actually more. If you keep bringing it up and talking about it every single day, then that can just, you know, keep their mind focused on the negative, even though you're saying positive things. It's just you're talking about something negative in a positive way. So it still has that negative connotation anyway. So sometimes you're right. Just listen, let them vent. And they don't realize it at the time. Like, wow, like coach just listened to everything that I said, and they get it out, and it can make them feel a little relief because someone is listening, you know, someone who understands. So it's tough. You know, I've had athletes go through it too. And it's just a matter of just, there's almost a point like you can't help them in, like they have to almost help themselves.
They have to do it themselves.
It's always good seeing, you know, someone like Liv, you know, on the comeback. Like I definitely, you know, watched her a lot indoor because she was competing with some of my athletes, and she was tough, man. You know, it was good to see you really battle it out this winter season, and finally, you know, at the end, get that time that you were looking for.
Yeah.
So,
and that was something I mentioned to Liv too before she went off, because she didn't make me the champs, and that kind of like bummed her out a little bit. But when we went to this meet, I only entered her. I was like, "We're going for you. We're going to do this together." And I remember telling her, like, before, she was like at Ocean Breeze, you have to line up like behind the ropes and everything, and you're getting there and you stand next to it. So I was standing there next to her. I remember just telling her, like, this is not for anybody else but yourself right now. Like, I'm not here. Your parents aren't here. Your brothers aren't here. Your sister's not here. Like, nobody. This is your time on the track. You got to see what you can do. And then she busted out that 217, which
you can ask Lynch. What you told that to me in the group chat real quick, and what was I? All caps. I was like, yes, because like obviously, like we're friends, so like you know, coach is talking to me about things, and I was pumped, right? I was pumped when I'm like, yes, Liv's back. Like it, you know, we were all rooting for you. So, Liv, for you, what was it like having Lynch there, having coach there, and kind of as you were obviously, because I think you know. I got there, right? I became the worst runner in college because I had a mental block I couldn't get over, period. Like that kind of ended me. So it's like, it's great to see you getting past it. And the easiest thing is like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this isn't for me, blah, blah, blah. What was it like having someone like coach there that kind of didn't give up on you? Were you at a point where you were almost giving up on yourself? Like, how important was your relationship with coach to keep you driving and going?
It definitely was. It still is obviously very, very important.
He's all right. You don't have to be, you know, you don't have to gas him up here.
Well, not even just Lynch, even though he was like a really big factor in helping me get past that mental block, but like any coach who cares, like just makes a huge, huge difference. Like I can say this about Lynch, I can say this about Coach Duroni, I can say it about Coach Looney. All of them have been there for me and like helping me get past this. And I feel like the biggest thing has literally just been being positive. And I think I finally realized this at that Ocean Breeze meet. All the girls were saying next to me, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not excited for this. Like, this is going to be so weird. We're starting in lanes." I'm like, I'm kind of excited. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm really excited for this. Like, just like, I know it sounds so simple, just being positive and having my coaches there to me, like, you've got this, like, this is great. Just like such positive aspects. I was like, oh, maybe this is just what I needed. Like a completely different outlook.
Positive mind frame goes so far. It's like I always say, like, it's like 80% of distance running is just having your mind, maybe even more, just having your mind in the right place, because it's not like 100 meters where you just, you know, the gun goes off and you sprint. Like there's so much that you have to think about and process. And even in a 400 or an 800, it's such a mental game.
And, you know, and in the end, it's like always remembering, like, it's just a race, right?
Yeah.
It's just a track meet. Like, this isn't going to make me or break me. Like, it's just a race in the end. Like, how many times did you feel negative, but you had, you know, coach going up there and was like, "Hey, good job. Let's get back at it." You know what I mean? It's like,
exactly.
No one hates you if you don't run well. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you're okay. It doesn't matter in the long scheme. So, you know, it is tough. Like, and it's tough, but I think you're probably helping more of the girls on the team and even some of the guys than you think, just by being able to get over this mental hurdle. Because I can imagine, for every one athlete that got over it, there's a bunch that are still going through it, right? That's track and field. Track and field is a mental war. So yeah, it's exciting. So this season, you're doing some different stuff. And I was surprised when, we do the whole itinerary, you gave me some answers. I was surprised because I was never allowed to do different things. And if Coach Scheffler ever listens to this, yes, I was never allowed to do different things besides like the 8 mile and the 2 mile. So you're branching out. You're trying the 400-meter hurdles, doing the 200. You obviously have wheels, right? 215. So it's not like you can sprint. What went into that decision? And, Lynch, you guys can both talk about this. What went into that decision of letting you try some different things? Because, Coach Sheff always told me, you're not allowed to go over hurdles. You're clumsy and you're dumb. You can't do it. Like, you'll fall and you'll get hurt. You got to go run on flat land.
He wasn't wrong, though.
He wasn't. I'm still clumsy and dumb. But what went into that decision of you trying some different stuff?
Well, I mean, at first, I honestly myself, I was like, I can't do hurdles. I can't do hurdles. Like my freshman year, I fell down the stairs and I broke my tooth. I'm like, I can't do that again. Like I cannot break another tooth. I can't do it.
That was your freshman year?
Yeah. It was either right before sectionals or groups. And I was like, oh my God, this is the worst timing ever. My tooth cracked. It came out of my Invisalign.
No.
Like it was really bad. I was like, okay, I'm never doing hurdles. I'm never letting myself like get in that position again. So, and then, but when I was at that Navy camp this summer, they were like, okay, who wants to try steeple? I was like, okay, I'll try. Like I've never tried it before. I might as well. Like it seems cool. It seems fun. And then so we had practice jumping off the hurdle into a sand pit, and then we tried it in the actual water, and they're like, oh, you're good at this. Like you should keep trying this. I was like, okay. And then I was like, I can't really do steeple in high school. Like our track doesn't have a steeple.
Yeah, Jersey doesn't have it.
Or anything. Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, maybe I'll try 400 hurdles to sort of get into the motion. So I just started this season, but it seems fun. And it's like sort of a way to distract myself from being too stressed about the 800.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, it's something else to worry about, like breaking my face open. That's a lot scarier than running 2 laps.
You know what? Like we have an athlete on our team who's also getting into the 400 hurdles, and it's a good distraction, and it's a great race to get ready for the 800 too. I mean, it's a lot of speed, it's a lot of endurance. It's a great race. So if you could do it, I just love it from the aspect of the distraction point, like it's just something else. And to me, it's making the sport fun for you. Like it's something new. It's fun. It's bringing that like joy that you had as a kid when you played sports. It makes it fun. And that's what I try to instill in my athletes. The sport needs to be fun. You work so hard at it every day. Find something in the sport that gives you joy.
So Lynch, for you as a coach, the only thing that really changes training wise is trying to teach her how to get over a hurdle properly, right? Like, but like the actual, like she has the endurance, she has the wheels, but it's like, all right, get out hard. It's like, this isn't an 8. You got to get out hard. You got to run, because once you hit hurdle 7, you're going to hate your life. So you better run well for the first 6. So
hurdle 7, that's the worst.
Hurdle 7's miserable. Like, I don't know. I would stop at hurdle 7. I'd be done. But so what has that been like for you in taking this on, right? Because you're sitting here, you're coming in, she had a great end of her indoor, and you're like, cool, let's go 210. And she's like, I'm doing 400 hurdles. And you're like, okay, then. Like, so what has that switch up been for you?
Well, I think Liv mentioned it to me in the fall, or maybe even like towards the end of Alger. I don't remember the exact.
I mean, that's fine, but it was like, okay, you did a summer camp. Cool. Back to the distance track.
But no, like she was showing me videos of what she was doing over the steeple, and I was like seeing her form, and I was like, okay, there is something there. Like we can definitely do something with this. Yeah. And I had it in my head, like I didn't mention it to her, but I had it in my head after her outdoor season last year of like, we need to shake something up. And that was a matter of like, my original thought was doing like open 4s and 200s, because I was getting actually the inspiration from seeing like a lot of girls in our short conference and our section. The 800 runners, the mid distance, all do 200s in early meets, and they do like Swedish relays, and they do all these different things that I was like, I've tried doing that in the past, but we got kind of tunnel vision into like, well, we just have to hit another opportunity, and hey, let's hit another opportunity. And I had to take a step back and be like, no, she needs to branch out. So then when she showed me what she was doing at the naval camps, I was like, let's try this. And that's always been the plan since the fall, that we were going to do this no matter what. I think it helped too. Like she was looking at some school records and stuff too, and seeing like that the 400 record, I think for the hurdles is only like a 66.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you got that.
Liv can crush a 66.
Absolutely.
So I was like, she could definitely get it if we get the right training. And luckily for me, I've had kids in the past that have been really good at 400 hurdles. Like Sadikoff was one that's still doing it at UPenn right now.
Absolutely.
But I've had, even like my first couple of years, I had this girl, Lindsay. She was there and she was almost breaking school records, and she almost made groups in the 400 hurdles my first year. I've had other girls in the past, like Sam Schmidt, try different things in the hurdles. So I've had a good group always coming through. I've never done hurdles in my life. I can't really get over the hurdles very well, but I knew I had to do enough training to figure out like what does she need. So when it comes to her training cycles, it's kind of just like she's still doing a mid-distance focus, but like sometimes we'll incorporate like, hey, the distance team is doing 200s today, but you're going to do 200s with the hurdles, or you're not doing a distance workout today. You're just going to go do hurdles, and we have a good group of overlap from the distance girls there anyway. So
you're not doing 32s today. You're doing 28s. Like you're not doing like your wheels are going. You're not going to have it nice and easy. You're not doing 832s. You're doing 528, 628. Like you're going shorter rest too. Enjoy, dear.
But it was just like the training cycle hasn't really changed too much. So it's been nice. And I think it's really benefiting Liv a lot. I think she's really finding it her senior year this year, just like having fun in the sport. All the pressure is gone. Like you committed to school, like everything's done. Like now we're just here to have fun, do all the events, get many records as we can, as many medals as we can, and just see what we can do this season.
Yeah. So, I love it.
Olivia,
I mean,
was it weird? Because you ran a 200 already, right? You do say in there you ran one?
Yeah, I ran one open 200 last week at divisionals.
So was it weird actually sprinting? Because as a distance runner, it's like, all right, wait till the end, and then we just try to die, right? Like, so what was that like? Was it weird at first, like sprinting and being like, no, I can go harder? Like, did you have that moment? Because I remember when I did some, I think we like had like a 200 time trial once in college to try and like see who was going to get that last spot on the 4x4 just for fun. And it was like weird because I went out and I'm like, no, I have to go faster. This is sprinting, dumb. Like, don't hold back. Like, did you have that moment where you're like going out and you're like, no, I can go faster. I got to go faster.
I mean, not really. The only weird part about it was that I literally ran an 800 10 minutes before. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, my legs hurt so bad. I can't do this. But no, we do a lot of 200 workouts at track. And I do the 4x4 like almost every meet. So I'm like, oh, I've split like a 27 coming through the 200. I can do that in an open 200. So that's what I hit like at divisionals. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, it's good. Like, I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
A 27 on tired legs is awesome. That means that you're doing something right. If 27 you're automatic.
And
so that's not a bad thing.
It's been so windy and so terrible.
And got second overall at the meet, so those big points for me. So that helped.
That's all we needed, honestly.
And listen. That's why those meets are good, because they're all about points. So Liv, you mentioned earlier, about like coming in as a freshman, how much that you leaned on your senior leadership. What is it like now that you're a senior, and how has that role changed for you as you've progressed through your career in high school?
And it's kind of weird. Half the time I'm freaking out because I'm like, I have to leave everybody in like 2 months. I hate it. But at the same time, I'm kind of leaning into it more. Like when we're doing workouts, I'm the one who's always starting to time them. I'm like, okay, guys, we have to start the workout. Stop talking. We have to stop walking. Like we have to actually do this. Like, this is the only way we're going to get better. And
that's a very important asset to any coach, is having having that athlete who's kind of like a pseudo coach in a sense. I mean, you're still an athlete, you're still training, but we all depend on those, and to just lead stretches or just to, there's only one of us. So, that's awesome that coach entrusts you with that, and that you've taken on that leadership, because it means so much to us as a coach.
And that the other athletes respect enough, right, to listen to you and things like that. Like, and the fact that, Lynch would sit there and look at you angrily if everybody isn't doing what they're supposed to do, right?
And it's great because my best friend Katie balances me out. She's like, no, we don't have to do another rep. It's okay. And I'm like, guys, don't listen to her. Please. She's like, we're the off.
Throwing her under the bus.
He hypes everybody up before. I hype everyone up during. I'm like, we just have to finish, guys. It's okay. Don't listen to her.
That's fantastic.
So have you found yourself like maybe subconsciously or consciously taking on more of a leadership role because you are the the senior leader? And is it by leading by example, or do you kind of lead by, you know, are you kind of like a rah-rah, like, you know, team person, or are you just kind of person who just does what they have to do and just kind of leads by example?
I try to lead by example. I try to be like, okay, guys, like this is gonna be good. We're gonna go on a good run. We're gonna get a good workout done. Like this, like all this stuff is in preparation for our meet. The sooner we get done, the sooner we're finished. Like we just have to
used to
make sure
say that.
it goes well. And I'm like, even when the boys are doing a workout, I'll like stop and I'll cheer for them, and I'll be like, come on, guys, you've got this. Like I just try to keep everybody in good spirits and like just be excited to run.
Now, is that naturally you, somebody who's willing to step up and be a leader, or was it something that you had to kind of learn and figure out how to do as you've gotten older?
I'd say it's like it's become who I am as a person now. Like I don't go to Ocean for school. I go to Mass up in Sandy Hook, and we have like our NJROTC unit there.
Yep.
So, and I'm like one of the leaders in the school. I'm like the battalion community affairs officer. So I've like had to become a leader. So it's just sort of natural at this point to like have that confidence and be like, okay, guys, we have to do something now.
Yeah.
It's just
so
like,
I actually wanted to ask you, because I have a couple kids on my team who are from Mass. What is it like? Because I know they get there much later than the other kids. So what is that like to still feel a part of the Ocean team, even though you don't go to school there? Like, how does that whole relationship work?
I mean, it's kind of odd. I miss most of warm-ups most days since they start practice at 3:15 at 3, and I get there at like 3:15, 3:20. But aside from that, it's not much. Doing cross country is a little bit more difficult. I was usually going on runs by myself, but at this point, like I've gotten used to it. Like that's the only thing I've been missing. They wait for me during workouts, which is like I appreciate so immensely. I don't know if I'd be able to go through a workout by myself. But aside from that, it's the same. I try to kind of tell myself like, oh, it's in school doesn't really make a big difference. Like if they're completely different classes, they're completely different like grades, I wouldn't be seeing them that much anyways. Like I just try to connect with them during practices and just make us be one big team no matter where we go to school.
So, Coach, is it strange on you, or is it harder not having, you know, your leader in the actual school, or is this because I know like it doesn't really affect me in any way, like, you know, it's just a kid on the team, they just come later, so it's not really like it's that much of an effect. What is it like from your perspective? Does it make it harder? Like, do you have to wait more?
It's really not that much harder. Like it's nice that she drives now, so it's like she gets there a little earlier instead of waiting for the bus. When she did have to wait for the bus, it would sometimes be like 3:35 or 3:40, and you're like, where is this girl? Like trying to figure out like, all right, we're going to start to work out soon. I promise, guys. We're going to get it going soon. Because we always wanted to make sure she was there for workouts. I never wanted her to do them by herself. That's just too grueling and hard. But
that's when you got to get your shoes on, Coach, and go lead her through it. Strap them up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that point again.
My money is on Liv now over Coach.
Yeah,
I think so as well.
But when it comes to like leadership in the school, I've been lucky enough that I've had other kids from Mass before, and we always have a good group. Like with Liv, we have, like she mentioned, her best friend Katie. We have Katie, Lannon, all these other distance girls, all these other senior sprint leaders of like Sarah Patino, and like all these other girls that are just there all the time. So we don't really lack too much in leadership department, and these girls are really good. They're almost all like Liv. They're all just like, this is what we have to do. This is what we're going to lead. And it's pretty much, I don't really have to say much at practice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. The only time that I find in issues is if we have to leave early for a meet, or, you know, something like that. Or like, you know, the pen relays where we don't go to school, you know, on that day, but everything always works out. And, you know, like there's a place for everybody. So I think it's great that you make it work so that she doesn't feel, you know, any less part of the team. Because I'm sure some coaches would be like, she's not getting her till 3:45. She'll just do it on her own. But I also wait too, because it's what you do. You know,
you have to have team morale. You have to have a team atmosphere.
Yeah,
like she's absolutely part of the team. That's the 100%. End of the discussion.
Absolutely.
Coach Torchia giving us the perfect lead into our next topic here. He's controlling our show. We love that. He's asking here, how did you come to your decision for college? Most kids don't make such a mature choice. By the way, the Shore community thanks you for your future service, and obviously we do here as well. Absolutely. So leading into that, you talk about the camp that you went to. Was that the big deciding factor? Because like usually, like Coach George just said, a lot of people that go to the service academies wanted to go to the service academies, right? Most of them were, that's what they wanted to do. Now you're in ROTC, so was it always a goal of yours to go to a service academy, or what was all that like? What's that decision process?
Honestly, the NJROTC at my school definitely helped me like figure out like, oh, this is what I want to end up doing. But I didn't realize that until my senior year. Like I had sort of taken like a different path up the NJROTC like ranks and stuff. Like color guard is the biggest thing. Like all the prim and proper people do it, and they're like totally like their uniforms are squared away. They know everything. It's like I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's scary. But I did.
And future officer, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
That was me sophomore year. But I went to all the meets. Like I took photos of them. I was like, oh, everybody's really nice. Like everybody has such a nice relationship with each other. They seem like they know what they're doing. I was like, maybe I want to be a little bit more involved. So I started getting more involved. And then that's when a lot of the naval science instructors like started talking about like, oh, if you guys are interested in like possibly pursuing this in college, like the Naval Academy, we love the Naval Academy. We've sent so many students to the Naval Academy. And so I started looking into it more. I started looking to the program. Being D1 is like such an amazing experience. I'm super excited for that. But I reached out to their coach and they're like, oh, you seem really nice. Like you should come to our running camp. I was like, oh, and I knew that like running camps, like almost every college has them that like has a good running program. I was like maybe. So I looked into it a bit more. I was like, okay, I'll just go see like what it's about. I wasn't 100% set on it beforehand, but after I went to the camp, I was like, oh, I really like it here. Like the campus was beautiful. I really like the idea of like having a set schedule of like classes and being a little bit more similar to high school in the fact that like I know what I'm going to be doing every day. Like I don't have 2 classes in one day and having nothing else to do. Like I just really liked it. And plus I don't want to say, but like free college is a really big benefit of it. Like
100%. It doesn't hurt. It does not hurt.
But and aside from that, like my dad did ROTC in college. Okay. He went to King's College. He did Army ROTC. Okay. So like it's a little bit of rivalry there, but not much.
Hey, go Navy, beat Army. I'm always Navy side. Sorry, Dad.
That's great. He's been so supportive of me, even though he was Army. But it's really funny to say.
Well, I mean, you're going into a service academy, right? Exactly. And it's like, it doesn't matter. You're going into one of the services. It's always an honor when you're doing that. And I said it to Ryan Daly a few weeks ago, and I'm going to say it to you. I always hated when the service academy showed up because they always had a few studs, and it was like they were a good overall team. But then you would get like a few kids. You see at any of the big meets, especially going to Boston, you'll see your Annapolis kids, you'll see your West Point kids, and they're up in the top heats. And out of nowhere, it's like, okay, West Point kid running a 349. Go away. Like Annapolis kid dropping a 149, like 48. Get out of here. It's like, go defend our country. Stop beating me on a track. Like, get out of here. Like, but no, it's always, you're going to have, like you said, the structure is incredible. They have a great program. They are dedicated. They love their athletes over at the service academies. They really do. And you're going to have an experience because I know, like I said, I think earlier before, I had 2 friends go through Annapolis, and the stories are fun, and you're going to come back with a good amount of stories, maybe not of all just yourself, but of just the things that you're going to see. I'm not going to give anything away from the stories I know. You're going to go enjoy experiencing the Naval Academy. So were there other schools that you were interested in pre your commitment to the Naval Academy? Like where, if, obviously you're there now, if you want to mention any other schools that you were flirting with going to?
I mean, my other top option aside from that was the Coast Guard Academy. And that was basically for the same reasons, like the structure, the service afterwards. And like, I really like marine science. So there I was thinking of studying like marine science. And at the Naval Academy, I plan on studying oceanography. So those 2 were big pluses. Like I really wanted a school that had something to do with the ocean or the environment. But aside from that, like I had a couple of schools interested in me, which was like really appreciative of. But those were the 2 top contenders by far. But the Naval Academy just ended up winning out. I think the warm-up had something to do with that.
So do you think that maybe your more free mind frame now is because you've already gone through the hardest part of high school, which is the whole college recruiting process? Now that you're free of that, do you think maybe looking back that could have been part of a reason why you were putting so much pressure on yourself?
I mean, probably. It definitely had something to do with it, but I don't think I was as stressed about it as I should have been. I feel like I just knew that in the end of it, like I would end up where I was meant to be. Like everything happens for a reason. It would have worked out.
Did you want to run in college regardless? Like, were you going to plan on running at Coast Guard as well?
Yeah, definitely. That was 100% my end goal. Like I just enjoy running at this point. I never thought I'd like say this when I was conditioning for soccer, but I really like running. It's like an escape, honestly.
Yeah.
It is.
How cool was it that the Naval Academy was interested in you though as a runner too, right? Because like I said, Naval Academy has a good prestige. They're a really good program. Like, kind of what Dave said. Did that give you a little bit of a leg up when you're like, oh, the Naval Academy wants me to compete?
Yeah.
I'm like,
even now I'm like a little bit stressed before me. I'm like, it's fine. I'm a D1 runner. I'm going to the Naval Academy. It'll be fine. I'm like just reassuring myself.
And I'll tell you this, and Lynch will say it, and probably Dave will as well. Take advantage of everything that comes with being an athlete while you're there. When it comes to getting yourself put into classes that maybe are full, or, you have so many resources, especially at the Naval Academy. Like, you'll have your own space if you want to not go to the library, right? Like, you probably had this over, Lynch, where athletes in the athletic center always have places to go. So enjoy and take advantage of it. The tutors, everyone else has to pay for them. We sure as hell mostly didn't. So it's like, use it all and soak it in, because college is a ton of fun. It's hard work, but it's almost good that you're going through, or you went through what you went through now, because I feel like when it gets to college and when you're going through some tough stuff there, you're going to be like, done this before, been there, I'm moving on. Like, I'm past it. Like, so that's going to be fun. I'm excited to see. So this season, obviously, 400 hurdles, you're going to run some twos, you're going to be back in the 8. What are your goals for this season? What are we, I don't know if you and Lynch probably talked about some of the goal setting stuff. What are the goals for you that you're looking to do this outdoor season?
I mean, honestly, my biggest goal is making it back to mocks. I went sophomore year. I was, again, struggling with my mental block last year, and I wasn't able to even qualify for groups. But again, my goal is just to qualify for mocks and just have fun and like maybe break some records if I'm up to it. But that's not, obviously that's my goal, but I don't want to jinx myself right now. But I just want to do well and be proud of myself, honestly.
Yeah, just go out there, compete hard, and the times will all take care of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So Lynch, by what point in the season do you have her breaking 210?
But she makes a box.
Yeah.
I already have it mapped out for you. When is she going sub 210? No, that's
a great 217. So that really helped me be like, okay, we can get really low in the 210s. I think this year.
Oh, I think it's one of those things too. Like Lynch, you were talking about the 5-minute barrier, and it's always so fun. Once you break a barrier, it's so hard to not break it, right? Like your body changes, and you're like, oh, so. I'm pumped because I think really early on, Liv, you're going to go sub 215 and you're going to be like, oh, okay, never doing that again. Like on the greener pastures, like it's such a weird thing with running that I don't think any other sport experiences, right? Like once you're sub 5, you know what sub 5 feels like, or you going sub 220, right? Like that's one of the most frustrating parts, especially when you're trying to come back. And it's like, I know how to go sub 220. That's not hard anymore. Like that's me. Like, so it had to be awesome doing that 217, monkeys off your back. And now it's like, all right, back to the goal again. We're back in our lane. Let's do this. So,
and also her last 3 races were all under 220. So like her last 3 indoor races were like a 219, 218, 217 or something like that. Yeah. So it was like getting 3 consecutive, like under your belt, just pioneered so much. Yeah. And that's like the biggest point is like, I like that we've talked about it before. Her goal is to meet champs. It doesn't matter what times we're running in the qualifiers. We just have to make it. And
go
it's
race.
Like you said, Dave, it's like we just have to compete in the races.
And listen, the 800 meter in New Jersey on the girls' side, you have to compete.
Yeah.
Especially group 2.
Group 2 is low. Trust me. I know. I am group 2 as well. It is a buzzsaw, man. It is an absolute buzzsaw. And you know what? But I love it because it just makes everyone have to step up and just run better.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Liv, now that you are kind of back in that mindset, right? How much of your brain is less on running a time and more on just competing? Because we talk about on the show all the time that track has become such a time trial every race, and that's all we're looking for, right? Who ran this? Who ran that? And we just saw like the big news, like Quincy Wilson got beaten out by a football player. It's like, okay, he ran a race, y'all. Like, it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
he's not gonna go and win every race, but he competed, right? Like Quincy Wilson's always in the thick, whether it's adults or high school kids. Like, so for you, now that you're feeling more yourself, are you as worried about times and more as where's your mindset? And Lynch, are you kind of more in the thing of go compete and less of go get a time?
I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult just to think about because some of the meets are like, oh, like I know I've looked at my split, like I know what my competition will be. I don't have to worry about my time if I'm just looking to like do well or place or anything. But at the same time, I want to be able to push myself and break those time barriers. It just depends on like what my goal is for that meet, sort of. So I don't know. It's kind of like a tricky thing to think about.
It's a weird thing because, Lynch, you've probably said this before, and I'm going to give my non-solicited coaching, but it's like, if you're in a big meet, right? Don't worry about the time, because if you compete, you're going to run fast.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it goes. Like, if you're in that big heat, it's going to be fast, right? Like, so if you're at sectionals, you're at groups, like, you're going to have to run fast to compete and go on anyway.
Yeah. But that's also like some of my mental pushback. Like, I even saw it in winter this year. I was like, oh my gosh, these girls from this team are all in my race. They're all in my heat. This is going to be a crazy fast one. And then we ended up doing like a 225. I was like, that was not what I expected. Like, why was I could have been up there with them, but I just got like that mental pushback of like, oh, if you stay in the competition, then you'll run a fast time. So it's like, it really does depend on what you're doing. It's kind of weird.
And it's also, I think you need to get to the point where it's like, stop looking at the other girls. You are Olivia Palutis, senior from Ocean Township, that's run freaking fast. Like, they're looking at you the same way you're looking at them. I promise you. They are going on mile split and going, crap, Olivia's going to be in our heat. Like, so don't sit there and start looking around. Like, be that person. Like, be the one. Like, they are looking at you as well. Don't think that they're not. They're going on the list. So you realize that, like, as you're looking at them, they're doing the same. So go have fun. Go have fun and win some things. That's the moral of the story here. Go have fun and win and make Lynch look like he knows what he's doing. That's
sometimes I strike gold.
Sometimes. So before we close out of here, I'm going to ask you the question that stumps everyone, that I ask everyone. Lynch has gotten this one, and we'll see what you come up with. You seem like a smart young lady, so I think we're going to get a good answer. So if you could take our sport of track and field and change something so that more people will be fans of our sport in general, so that if you ever wanted to run past college, you'd have a giant pro scene to enjoy to go be a millionaire, what would you change about our sport?
Honestly, I've actually been thinking not about this exact question a lot, but I really, really, really like what Michael Johnson's done with Grand Slam track. Like, it's such a big game changer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're winning like double what they'd win in the Olympics for one race, not like, let alone the whole slam.
Two races.
Like, it's crazy, 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 crazy. Like, but I don't know. I sort of just want that to be the norm, like more widespread, more recognition for our athletes. And like, but I feel like that's the only thing you can change. Except
did you watch the Grand Slam, Olivia? Did you watch the 3 days?
Yeah, I watched a bunch of it. It's like amazing. It's so cool.
I really liked it.
I have differing opinions, but we'll discuss it. And Dave, we still have to do our stream to talk about it.
I want to wait.
We can go on another hour and
because I just love, because it was kind of like Alex said earlier, like it took away the whole time trial. It was all about racing. It was good in that. All about just old school racing. I mean, some of the other things, crowd was terrible, but hopefully that'll be better. When it gets back here in the States, but. I thought it was good but you're right. Like, we need more pro leagues. Like, I'm pumped that we just saw that Ryan Krauser is
doing the king of
at the Drake Relays shot put league. Like, it's cool. I mean, that's the only thing that I do wish is that Grand Slam had field, because there's too much time in between races, and then you could throw Krauser in there. You could throw Mondo. That would really add to
Split
it. But
up.
I do like, kind of like what you're saying, how like there are these leagues that are coming around, and the first meet on the track was good, fan wise, maybe not great, but it's something that we can work on and to make better. And I'm with you, Liv. I thought it was fantastic.
I can go on a diatribe. I'm not going to go on a diatribe. We'll save that.
That's a good idea.
Lynch, did you watch it at all?
I watched like clips after the fact. I was too busy those 2 days, like when it was actually airing at the times they aired. Like, wasn't the second day like Saturday, like 4 or 5 o'clock?
Yeah, it was
6 from 9 on Friday and Saturday, and then 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah,
I may try to go to a day in Philly because Philly's not far. Like, I may actually try to go to one because I think that'll be cool to be at Franklin Field, and we'll see how much the tickets are and if I can go. But I think that would be cool to go experience that. And Dave, let's work on getting media credentials. I'm not even kidding. I want to try to get media credentials. Go see if we can go down there as a media group. I'm going to see what I could do there. But yes, everybody, thank you guys for watching. Liv, Coach, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Best of luck.
This was an absolute blast. So once again, that is Olivia Palutis and that is Coach Alex Lynch. They are over at Ocean Township. Liv is going to go do some ridiculously good things this outdoor season. Lynch is a fantastic young and upcoming coach who is it's when we're doing this 10 years down the road, we're going to be talking about titles that Lynch has brought to Ocean Township from, his amazing coaching ability and things like that. So we are pumped to always have them on and bring them in. Dave, do you have anything else to add before we jump out of here?
No, I just want to say, like as a coach of who has athletes who run against Liv, it's great to see her mindset back and to really see her potential, because it's just going to add one more person that's going to be at the top that people have to look out for. So I'm happy that you're feeling good and that you're positive and that you're having fun again, because that's what the sport is about. It is a grind. So just find those little pockets of fun and just embrace that and just go for it. And best of luck this year and at the Navy and whatever endeavors that you have going on in the future.
Thank you.
I second all that. I'm excited to see Liv go 205 this year. Anyway, so everyone, thank you. I do it every week. I just keep on going lower.
It'll be 158 in about 30 seconds. So.
Oh, she's gonna run a 149 anyway. So we'll do 149 through 6. Anyway, let's get out of here. We appreciate everyone for watching wherever you're watching from, and if you are listening via Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, please like, share, follow, subscribe, 5-star rating. Coach Torchy, as always, thank you so much for jumping on. Darren Peters jumping in saying great job, Olivia. We love Darren over here. Yes. And we appreciate you all. We'll be back next week. And I think we have the great Jim Lambert joining us next week. So I'm excited about that. Everyone,
always fun.
See you later. So long, y'all.